Consider the triangle. Tri means the three sides are equal. That is, if here is 2, here will be 2, and here will be 2. The angle here is 60 degree. The angle here is 60 degree. The angle here is also 60 degree. The angle there is also 60 degree. So if I divide this triangle, since I divide it, here will now be 30 degree. This side will also be 30 degree. And this side will be 1. This side will also be 1. Consider this portion is of the form right angle triangle. If I remove this portion out, here, this is how it will look like. Right angle triangle, for which this side I don't know. But by Pythagoras theorem, 1 square plus this side I don't know, let's name it as x. X square will have 2 square. This is 1 plus x square to be 4. So in this case, to have my x square will be 4 minus 1. So x square will be 3. X will be square root of 3 in this case. So that this portion I don't know, using the Pythagoras theorem, this portion will be square root of 3. So using this stands for sine theta to be opposite over hypotenuse. This stands for cosine of the angle adjacent over hypotenuse. This stands for tan theta to be opposite over the adjacent. So from here is the what? Opposite, where the angle is facing. Where here is the hypotenuse, here is the adjacent. But in this case here will be the opposite, here will be the adjacent, here will be the hypotenuse. For where the angle is facing is called the opposite. The longest side is called the hypotenuse, while the other side is called the adjacent. So from here, if here is theta, where the angle is facing, you name it as A. The longest side is called the hypotenuse. Let's name it as C. And the other side is called the adjacent. Here is the opposite. Here is the hypotenuse. Here is the what? Adjacent. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, which is the opposite over the hypotenuse. It's same thing as A over C. Cos theta is adjacent. Where is the adjacent of this? This is the adjacent of this. Adjacent over the hypotenuse. You see, the adjacent is B over C. The tan theta is what? Opposite over the adjacent, which is opposite over B. Or you can also say tan theta to be sine theta over cos theta. What is sine theta? Sine theta is what? Opposite over hypotenuse divided by, what is cos theta? Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse multiplied by hypotenuse adjacent. This will give us opposite over adjacent. That means tan theta is opposite over adjacent, which is A over B. From this angle, what is sine 60 degree? Using opposite over hypotenuse. In this case, the opposite of 60 is square root of 3. And the opposite of this is, where is the hypotenuse? Is 2. What is cos 30 degree? You see, in this case, cos 30 degree, this is the 30 degree. adjacent. The adjacent of this 30 degree is this square root of 3. Adjacent over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse of this is 2. 2. Can you see that sine 60 degree is equals to cos 30 degree? Cos 30 degree, which is equals to square root of 3 over 2. What is sine 30 degree in this case? Sine 30 degree, if you are here, opposite over hypotenuse. Where is the opposite of 30? This is it. Over hypotenuse. What is cos 60 degree? This is the 60, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Adjacent over the hypotenuse. Sine 30 degree is equals to cos 60 degree, which is equals to 1 over 2. Which is equals to 1 over 2. So, notice what is tan? Tan 60 degree from here. Tan 60 degree is opposite. This is the 60. Where is the opposite of 60? Square root of 3. Opposite over the adjacent. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent. Over 1, which is just square root of 3. What is tan 30 degree? This is 30. Using this opposite 1 over the adjacent. This is the adjacent. Square root of 3. So if you rationalize 30 degree, rationalize square root of 3 multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3. You have it as tan 30 degree to be square root of 3 over 3 as tan 30 degree. Name this as figure 1. From figure 1, we have seen that sine 60 degree is equals to cos 30 degree, which is equals to square root of 3 over 2. We have also seen that what sine 30 degree is the same thing as cos 60 degree, which is 1 over 2, and tan 30 degree 1 over square root of 3. For when you rationalize, you have it to be square root of 3 over 3, and tan 60 degree to be square root of 3. If you also consider the right angle triangle, for here is 90, here is 45 degree, here is 45 degree. This side is also equal. How to find this one? Using Pythagoras theorem, name this one as r. R square will be 1 plus 1. R square is what? 2. R will be square root of 2. That means R is square root of 2. What is sine 45 degree from here? Opposite 1 over square root of opposite over hypotenuse, which is when you rationalize, you have what? 1 over square root of multiplied by square root of 2 over, because you're having square root here, square root of 2 over 2. What is cos 45 degree? Cos 45 degree is what? From here, adjacent over, this is the adjacent. If you are using this angle, this is opposite over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse, square root of 2.